that will dislodge from here, right? And that will leave the cavity. And in that way, you see that cavity that will move in the upstream, okay? And this is just a matter of few hours, right? A complete pipe that will develop below this structure, and the water that will start flowing through this, right? And within 1 or 2 hours, you see this complete structure that will be washed out. Okay, so this is so called the piping action, right? Right? This is the piping action, right? So at this, you see, if you consider a very, you see the general value of the porosity and the value of the G, which is about 2.65. In that case, this critical exit gradient is coming out to be unity. So of course, the safe exit gradient we have to keep lower than unity. And I had shared with you, okay, for the different soil, what should be the safe exit gradient. Okay, and since this is a horizontal floor and here we are getting exit gradient unity, then what is to be done here is, you see a downstream sheet pile or the cutoff that is mandatory. So this downstream cutoff that is mandatory, so that the flow that will follow this path, and in that case here the exit gradient that will be less than 1, and in that case that structure that will be safe, right? What would be the exit gradient? That is calculated by Gauss law, okay, right? And if you have the downstream depth of the sheet pile which is equal to D, and this is the base width of this structure is B, in that case you have to calculate alpha. Alpha is equal to B by D. Lambda is equal to 1 plus under root 1 plus alpha square by 2. And then you have to get the exit gradient, which is equal to H by D. So H by D, H is the head which is acting. So let us say in the worst condition, there is no water in the downstream. So we consider this one as a H, okay, right? And 1 by pi under root lambda. And for the different type of this soil in the IS code, what should be the safe exit gradient that is written here? Okay, so from this discussion, we can conclude that this downstream sheet pile that is mandatory. Otherwise, the structure that will fail due to the piping action. Okay, and if you are solving, let us say the Laplace equation, in that case, if you have to get the exit gradient, del square H by del Y square is equal to 0. If you have to get this exit gradient, in that case, what you have to do is, virtually this exit gradient is nothing but delta P by delta X. Okay, in the terms of you see Newton per meter. Okay, or in the terms of you see dimensionless terms, because the exit gradient is dimensionless. Of course, this exit gradient, that is delta H by delta X, right? Okay, then what you have to do in this case is, let me explain in the other slide. I mean, if you are using some software or something like that, and you have to, let us say the structure is like this. So you have this floor. This is the floor, and you have a downstream sheet pile. This is the upstream sheet pile, and you have the flow that is going like this, this is coming out. So here you have the soil, here you have the soil, right? In the downstream you have the soil, right? Okay, and here is some gate, and you have here this water level. This is the head H. Okay, in that case, what you have to do is, with the solving this Laplace equation, of course, at all the points, you know what is the value of the H. So H value at all the nodal points that is known to you. To get the exit gradient, what you have to do is, you have to take some points. Let us say you are taking this point, you are taking this point, you are taking this point. Okay, you are taking this point, and you get the value of the H. So get the value of the H1 here, H2 here, H3 here. Here is, let us say, H4 4, okay, and the difference of this one is, let us say, delta x, right? So it is advisable in this case is don't go only with the exit point, okay? You calculate the delta h by delta x, okay, for the segment this, and this, and take the average of this one, and this will be your exit gradient, okay, right? This would be your exit gradient, right? Let me share. I don't know. I think I can share now. One problem, design problem that I did. Now, could you see this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I am taking a problem here. That one I solve using this SeepW software. Okay, so this is just for your information, because I did for the different configuration. This is for the condition, right? Now you can let me enlarge this so that you have the better. You see here, right? In this case, this is the floor. This one is the floor. Advance. This is 2. Then dispersal. So you can say this is the structure. This one is the structure. Okay. This is the upstream cutoff. This is the downstream cutoff. And could you see the flow lines here? These are the flow lines which is going, right? And these are the equipotential line you can see here, right? These are the equipotential line. Could you see this? So you can get all such things by solving the Laplace equation, right? Using the Laplace equation, these are the equipotential line. Here, this is the flow lines, right? These are the flow lines, okay? I think you can see this, right?
Yes, sir.
So at any point, you can get the value of the h, right? And what would be this? You see the total head of the water at the different location that is given here. And you see, as I explained to you regarding the exit gradient, so you can see here, see this point. Here, I had taken a number of the points, okay, and at each point, I obtained the value of the h, and the distance was known to us. Then I calculated the delta h by, I mean the del h by del x, and then I took the average. So that was the exit gradient, okay, and in that way I calculated the exit gradient. So you can use, this is the GeoSlope software, okay, and in that GeoSlope you have this, you see this SeepW is the, you see you see the software or the option of the GeoSlope, right? So you can, I think, I don't know you have heard about this or not, right? The GeoSlope is having a number of the softwares. One of the software is SeepW. So you can solve such type of the problem using the SeepW. Okay. Any question, please? So now we have covered this part as far as the surface and the subsurface flow is concerned. Now we'll discuss the design of the barrages. So if you have any question, please let me know so that I can start this design of the barrage. Any question, please? I hope you can see this slide.
Yes, sir.
So you see, I discussed with you the two PPT, one that is a design methodology of the barrages. Okay, I mean design of the barrages, and the second one is I discussed with you a case study, right? For having the more clarity about the design, right? So I think you are visualizing the barrage. Okay, so this is a structure which is constructed across a river to divert the water. So here the barrage is for the diverting the water, not for the storing of the water. But there are some barrages which is exclusively for storing the water. Okay, right? But in the plain areas, okay, in general, the barrages are to divert the water in the canal system. I think I have discussed a number of times with you, okay, this canal system, right? Okay, and from where we are taking the water. So just to uh, give this some idea about this, okay, because you might be not remembering. See, here is a river. A river is flowing like this, and here some structure that is to be provided. This is the flow direction. This is structure that is to be provided across this river, okay, to divert the water. So here we have to divert the water in the some canal system here, right? Okay, this one is a river. So here is the structure that we are saying as a barrage. So this is a structure barrage, okay, and this whole component of this one, I mean the structure which is in the vicinity of this, we are saying this one as a headworks. Why we are saying this one as a headworks? Reason behind that one is works means a structure, okay. So this is at the head of the canal, okay. This is the at the head of the canal. This is the canal which is off taking, okay. The flow is going like this, and this structures that are at the head of this canal, okay. Therefore, we are saying all such a structure as a headworks, okay. And in this headworks, we have the different structures, okay. One is the barrage, okay. So you can see in this sketch, okay, virtually in the barrage also we have different components, right? So you see here, 1 minute. So you can see here, this is the barrage portion. This one is the barrage portion from here to here. And in this barrage portion, right, you see this is virtually divided into two parts. One is which is close to the canal. So canal is off taking from here. So this one part is the under sluice part. This one we are saying as a under sluice, right? The crest level of this under sluice, right, that is kept lower than what we have in this side. Which one we are saying as a weir proper, or you can say just weir, okay. So these are having the two components. One is the under sluice portion, another one is the weir, right? Okay. Under sluice portion, the crest that is kept lower than the weir, so that the lean flow, okay, the flow which is coming here, right, that should pass through this. And once that will pass through this, in that case, a deeper channel that will be maintained all the time, okay, towards the head of this canal. So this canal head that will be not dry in the dry condition, and there would not be silting there, okay, right, because we are ensuring the flow, the lean flow, okay, even the lean flow passing through this, okay, right. Now, what is the, for how much discharge we have to design this under sluice, for how much discharge we have to design for the weir proper, okay. Just to have the idea, I mean, if you cut this section XX, okay, you will get the same section that we have already discussed, right? Okay, and another section of the under sluice also you have the more or less the same section, right? Okay, and in addition to the under sluice and the weir, in between these two, I mean, just to demarcate these two or separate this one, a divide wall is being provided. So you can see here, this is the divide wall. I mean, this is dividing the flow. This one is dividing the flow, right? And idea behind this one is the flow which is approaching to the undersluice, that should not have a path like this. I mean, that should not have a, you see the inclined flow which is coming to the undersluice, right? So this divide wall that is extended in the upstream, so that if the flow which is coming from this side, that should enter in this undersluice normal to the axis of the barrage. So this one is the axis of the barrage. Okay, you can say this one is a BA, or you can say the barrage axis, right? In addition, adjoining to this divide wall, okay, fish ladder that is being provided. So here is the fish ladder. Here is a fish ladder. I mean, this is the fish ladder, means this is a passage that is being provided where the velocity is very low, so that the fish can move from the downstream to the upstream and upstream to the downstream, right? So these are the components of this barrage. In addition to that, here in the undersluice part, below the crest, silt excluder that is being provided. Silt excluder, okay? I mean, the flow which is very close to the bed, that is being passed in the downstream, right? So that because that is having very high silt concentration, okay? Then coming to the head of the canal, so of course at the head of the canal, we have the head regulator. So the regulator that is being provided to regulate the discharge in this canal, okay? Now, if you'll see the plan view of let me, if you see the plan view of the river, okay, let me draw that one. So river is like this, maybe river may be flowing like this at this location. So siting of this barrage or any structure, this is a very, very important component. I mean, the siting of the structures, where you have to you see locate the structure. That is very important part, because the river is not in a static condition. I mean, this, let us say the flow is in this direction, okay? Today you will see this is the bank of the river, this is the bank of the river, but tomorrow the bank of the river, that will be different, okay? Maybe the river will be shifted on the left side or the right side, something like that, okay? So what we have to do is, of course, from the past behavior of the river, we have to locate, okay, or we have to identify the location where there is a minimum morphological changes. Morphological changes means the change in the plan form of the river, okay, right? And it will be advisable to provide the guide, you see the barrage there, okay, right? And now, once you are providing the barrage, then you have the option. Let us say we have these are the stable banks. You have the option. You can provide the barrage. Let us say we are providing here bank to bank, okay, or maybe you can provide the barrage only in this portion, okay, because this is a very wide channel and so much length is not required. In that case, if you have to contract this, you are providing the barrage only from this point to this point. So here you see the flow that will be contracted, okay, and for that you have to provide the guide band, okay. So this guide band that is required, okay, so that you can give a direction or you can the flow right to the barrage. So these are the guide bands that are being provided. This is to guide the flow. Guide band, right? Okay, and this guide band, of course, there are, you see the design methodology for this guide band, okay, and that gives the direction of the flow. I mean, if the flow is coming like this, then that will rotate like this, and finally that will come normal to the barrage. Okay, so if you have a flow which is coming like this, then that will rotate, and finally that will come normal to the barrage. So these guide bands that are being provided, maybe on both the sides, maybe this will be a straight type of the guide band. There are elliptical type of the guide bands. Okay, sometimes the bands are also provided like this. Provided like this. This is so called the marginal bands, right? Okay. So here this is being explained. This is the marginal band that are being provided here. Here you can see here. Okay. So these are the river training walks. So if you see here, guide band, marginal band, or any other, you see the structures that are supposed to be provided, okay, for training the rivers, we are saying as a river training walks. That is the river training walks. Okay, so in this river training walks, this is to train the river. In this river training walks, you have the guide bands, you have the marginal bands, you have the spurs, okay, you have the spurs or the groins, you have the pilot channel, right? Pilot channel, you have the other structures also for training the structure, okay? So, so we'll take one by one, okay, as I discussed with you. In this case, once we have this barrage, in this barrage, of course, the first we have to divide this one into two part. Here, this is the divide wall, and let us say we are taking the channel from this side, so we have to provide the under sluice here, under sluice part. And if you are taking a canal on the other side also, let us say we are taking a canal on this side also, so here also the under sluice that is to be provided. Okay, means that you have to have the two divide walls. Okay, and as far as the fish ladder is concerned, you can provide on this side or this side. Okay, so if you are of taking the canals from both the sides, in that case, okay, you have to provide the under sluice on both the sides. Okay, and this would be your weir proper part. Okay, so this is the, you see the arrangement of the head walks. Okay, and we have to talk about the design of the barrage. Barrage here means this weir portion, this under sluice portion, divide wall. Okay, we'll not go in the detail of the design of the fish ladder, right? Okay, but we'll discuss the under sluice, weir, and all those things. If you have any question, please let me know. Any question, please? Yes, please. Do you think this would be a suitable site for locating the barrage? This is a question, and you will get marks.
No, sir.
Why so?
Sir, the river is changing its path.
So if that is changing its path, then what is the problem?
Sir, after a few days, the morphology will change. Then the barriers also need to be changed.
I mean, here you have to provide very heavy river training walks. The cost that will be very high. Okay. And even after providing that one, you are not sure that the river that will follow the path that you have defined, right? Okay. Because the river may hit this right approach or the left approach of the barrage, and that can wash out. Okay, right? So of course, this is not a good site. Your name is
Anirudh.
Anirudh. Yeah. So this is not a good site, right? You see the selection of the site. Okay, that is a very important part. Somehow that is linked with the cost of the project. Okay, so this is not only for the you see the barrages. This is true for the bridges also. I mean, you have not to locate a bridge, okay, at location where there is a wandering behavior of the river. Sometimes the river is going in the left direction, sometimes that is going on the right direction. Okay, so that is not the suitable site. Okay, right? Because the cost of this river training works, that is very high. Now we'll discuss the various aspects of the design methodology of this barrage. Now, once we are designing the barrage, in that case, the first thing that comes in mind that, okay, you see, I think in the beginning I had told you, as far as the hydrology is concerned, we are concerned with the two things. One is, what is the peak discharge? Okay, because that peak discharge, that one we require to design the structure. Okay, right? And the second one is the water availability, because you have to divert the water, and that water that will be used for the various purpose. So you should know at that location how much discharge that is coming, right? So here we are not talking about the water availability, okay, right? Because here we are talking about the design of the structure. So our structure that should be designed in such a way that should, okay, sustain the maximum discharge which is expected. And for getting that maximum discharge, of course, in the case of the barrages, because I am not talking about the dam, because there we are going for the probable maximum flood. Here we are not going for the probable maximum flood, or the, you see, here we are going with this discharge corresponds to the some return period. Okay, right? So here it is written that in the IS code, okay, this return period, once you are getting the discharge, I mean, if you are fixing the design discharge, so that return period that should be for the 50 years. But now the practice is to use the 100 years. Okay, so I think you might have gone through the frequency analysis. May I know some methods of the frequency analysis for getting the discharge for a certain return period? This is again a quiz question. I think you might have gone through in the course of the hydrology. Could you tell me some methods for the estimation of the peak discharge, flood discharge corresponds to some return period, maybe 10 years, 50 years, 100 years, 500 years?
Sir, flow duration curves.
No. Flow duration curve, that is for the water availability. Okay, it's not for the peak discharge. From the flow duration curve, you can get the idea ki, okay, for the 50% of the time, how much discharge that is available, or 60% of the time, how much discharge is available. So that is related to the water availability. Here we are talking about the peak discharge. I mean, we have to design our structure for a discharge so that for a peak discharge, so that, okay, the structure that should not fail, right? I think in the frequency analysis, you might have gone through the Gumbel's method, you might have gone through the log Pearson method, okay, type 3, right? You might have gone through the log normal method, okay? So there are so many distribution method for the calculating this peak discharge for a certain return period, okay, right? Virtually, you see, you have the yearly maximum discharge data. I mean, let us say at that particular location, or maybe at some other location. So I'm not going entering into discussion of that part, the hydrological part, but this is very relevant here to discuss. Okay, let us say at the site of the barrage, you have the discharge data. You have the discharge data of, let us say, 30 years. Okay, so you have the discharge data of let us say 1990, okay, to 2019, right? So this is coming out to be for the 30 years. So every year, okay, what is the maximum discharge, you know, okay? Let us say I'm talking about this Ganga River at Haridwar. So you had in the 90, okay, let us say I'm giving just a figure. I'm not giving the actual value. Okay, let us say you have 4.6 lakhs cusecs discharge. Okay, this is the cusecs discharge, right? And then you have 4.8 or 3.9 or 4, something like that. So you have this series of the data. Now this series of the data that will follow some distribution curve, right? And if that follow the Gumbel distribution curve, in that case, we can get from this what will be the discharge value for the 50 years return period, for the 100 years return period, or for the 500 years return period. Okay, right? So through this frequency analysis, we can get this value, and that value we have to adopt for the design. So of course, in the IS code, it is written 50 years, but nowadays the barrages and the bridges are constructed for the 100 years return period. 500 years return period discharge, that is being considered for fixing the freeboard. Okay, you see in this design of the barrage, whatever the maximum water level you are getting, okay, your top of the wall you have to keep higher than the maximum water level, right? Okay, and how do you fix the top of the wall? That you have to fix on the basis of the 500 years return period. Means that 500 return periods or the water level corresponds to 500 return period, okay, and the water level corresponds to 100-year return period. The difference of that two, that will be the freeboard. Okay, right? So I think you might have understood this. Now coming to the pond level. See, let me introduce slide here. This is very interesting, but of course we are not physically. See, this we have. This is a river, and we have put a barrage here. Okay, and this is the canal which is taking from here. Now, to pass the discharge, a certain discharge which is going in this canal, okay, let us say we are talking about the Upper Ganga Canal. The Upper Ganga Canal is having a discharge of the order of 300 meter cube per second. So to pass this much discharge, of course, at this point, let us say I'm taking this is the point A, and in the downstream is the point B. Of course, there should be some difference in the water level. At this point, the water level that should be higher than the point B, right? Only then there would be flow from A to B, right? Now, how do we fix this water level at point B? Because this is the full supply level of the canal, right? And we are doing the computation from the downstream to full supply level of this canal that is known to you, right? And once the downstream water level is known to you, then you can get the upstream water level, okay, invoking the discharge equation of this head regulator, right? So you have, let us say the head regulator is like this. This is the head regulator, okay. This is the head regulator, and the downstream water level is this. The flow is from this direction. So this is the full supply level or the downstream water level. Downstream water level. And this one discharge, the discharge here which is going in this canal, so I am writing just QC. QC means the discharge which is going in this canal, right? QC is known, right? And let us say you have fixed what is the width of this head regulator, okay, the width of this one is known. And for this geometrical parameters, what would be the water level in the upstream? I mean, how much will be this head difference? Delta H. So this much delta H is required to pass this QC. Now, could you tell me if the water level in the upstream is also same as the water level in the downstream? In that case, do you think there will be some flow? Say the velocity head is same for both the cases. Yes? Have you got my question? My question is water level at the point A and B, both are at the same level. And the velocity head is also same. Do you think there would be flow in this canal, the water from the river that will go in this canal?
No, sir.
No. So you need some head, okay? So now how much will be the head at this point A, right? On that basis, you have to decide this barrage, what will be the crest of the barrage, what would be the height of the gate and other things, okay? And means that you have to maintain here in the upstream a water level so that the design discharge can be passed in this canal. And that water level, we are saying that one as a pond level, okay? This is a pond level. Means that this is the minimum water level that you have to fix here. That you see, you can divert the discharge, required discharge in the canal. So this is the pond level, right? And what is the criteria of this pond level? Of course, from this discharge equation, we have to get it. However, it is written here in the codal provision, okay? That should be about 1 meter upstream. I mean, the higher than the full supply level, but that is to be calculated by the equation, okay? So this is the pond level, okay? And the other things that we'll discuss in the next lecture. I mean, what is the efflux, what is the retrogression and all those things. We'll discuss that one in the next lecture, okay? Okay, thank you. हाँ सर, अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है। Yes, Fazil. क्या मुझे क्या समझ में आएगा, पहले एक्सप्लेन तो करो। मैंने आपसे ये कहा था, नो आई विल नॉट डिस्कस दिस वन ऑन कंप्यूटर अनलेस समथिंग यू एक्सप्लेन ऑन पेपर। आपने क्या किया, आपके पेपर में क्या एंट्रीज है? ये जो मॉडल किया है इसका कुछ चीजें लिखा है आपने वहां पे, कहाँ से कहाँ मॉडल किया? नहीं, कहाँ लिखा है, दिखाई दीजिए। हाँ, ये बड़ा सबसे कहाँ से कहाँ तक आप ये प्रिंट आउट निकालें। ये 2600 से लेकर के 2900, दिस इज इन मीटर। हाँ, and your damn site is ठीक है, राइट। अच्छा, उसके बाद क्या किया आपने? नहीं, मॉडल भी आएगी, ये पूछो आपका रेटिंग कर दिखाइए कहाँ ड्रॉप किया। दिस इज नॉट पार्ट ऑफ द मॉडल। ये रेटिंग का इससे नहीं आएगा ना, सेगमेंट रेटिंग का तब आपका कहाँ पे आपने एक्सेल में प्लॉट किया, उस सारे सेगमेंट स्टार और उसका आपने प्लॉट किया होगा ना। ये रेटिंग करो। अरे यार, आप जो डाटा आपके पास है उसको एनालाइज करो एक्सेल में, और आपको तो मैंने पूरी रिपोर्ट दे रखी है भाई, कहाँ प्लॉट किया है? मैं आपसे कह रहा हूँ रेडी करो, आप दिखाओ एक्सेल कहाँ है। प्लॉट किया हुआ है। तो ये एक्स एक्सिस पे क्या है, वाई एक्सिस पे क्या है, क्या यूनिट है, मुझे बताओ। हैव यू रिटन देयर इन द ग्राफ? आप तो नहीं समझते हो ना, आप तो मतलब आर्गुमेंट कर रहे हो। आपकी ग्राफ की परफेक्शन होनी चाहिए। आपके ग्राफ में एक्स एक्सिस क्या है, वाई एक्सिस क्या है, क्या यूनिट है उसका, कोई आदमी कैसे समझेगा उसको? हाँ? जब यहाँ पे नहीं करोगे तो थीसिस में कैसे करोगे? I am giving this graph to you. Could you understand what is the unit on the x-axis and y-axis? What is the title of that one? Okay. You discuss one by one. You discuss, okay, this is the segment rating per y. Okay. I am getting this one. What is the segment rating curve for the total segment, for the 5 segment, for this one? What I am getting? Okay, this is the segment rating curve. Okay. And this is what you have drawn only for the total oil. You have to do proper documentation. And you do this analysis also. What you are getting in this difference in this total oil. If you draw that, you do not probably have to. You don't understand what I am saying. Segment rating का पेपर पढ़े हो आप? क्या एनालिसिस है उसमें? आप एक एक चीज को जो है आप चीज करते रहोगे। अच्छा उसके बाद मैं क्या चीज? फाइन सेवेंटी सब ठीक है तो ये पार्टिकुलर डिस्चार्ज से कितना फाइन होगा कितना होगा ये निकालना ठीक है
ये प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है सर ये टोटल है हमारा सर वो तीनों के फाइन मीडियम और उसका जो टोटल है दोनों के टोटल के मतलब डिफरेंस आता है इससे
और पाएगा
उसका लेकिन अभी डिफरेंस है सर वो डिफरेंस का टोटल डालना है उसके नीचे जो फाइन तो मीडियम का है उसका परसेंटेज डालना है लेकिन ये टोटल जो है उस टोटल से
नहीं वहां पे आपको अप्रोक्सीमेशन करनी पड़ेगी बिकॉज़ इसको यू आर गेटिंग द फिटिंग आप इसकी फिटिंग कर रहे हो ना जब आप फिटिंग करोगे तो उस केस में यू विल नॉट गेट टोटल ऑफ दिस फाइन मीडियम और सैंड इक्वल टू 100%. So you got it. ओके आप उसको जो है ना उसको डिफरेंट रिसोर्सेज के परसेंटेज निकाल करके फिर उसको नॉर्मलाइज कर दीजिए 100% पे हां अभी भी
ऐसे किया तो तीनों को जो टोटल है तो भी
उसको नॉर्मलाइज कर दो ना उसको नॉर्मलाइज कर दो यानी कोई आपको आपने इसका टोटल निकाला ठीक है हां टोटल निकाल दो उसको नॉर्मलाइज कर दो 100% हो जाएगा आप ये बता रहे हो मेरे वीडियो के फॉर्मूले कौन से फॉर्मूले
जो रेटिंग का जो
ये साफ बात करो जब वंस यू आर डिस्कसिंग यू हैव टू बी क्लियर कि आप क्या बात कर रहे हैं आप ये कहिए कि रेटिंग के इक्वेशन जो है वो आपसे उसमें पता है you see once you have the data those data are to be filtered okay ये आपने फिल्टरिंग नहीं किया हो सकता है हमने फिल्टर किया
जीरो से हमने
डिलीट किया तो उसके अलावा भी फिल्टरिंग करते हैं ना तो आप फिर कुछ डाटा पॉइंट्स होंगे जो कि बहुत आउटसाइडर होंगे तो उसको निकालना होगा तो आपकी जब आप करेंगे मैं करूंगा तो फर्क आएगा चलिए आप ये कर लिया उसके बाद मॉडल में सबसे पहले आपने हाइड्रोडायनामिक्स चलाया इसका हाइड्रोडायनामिक्स मुझे रन करके दिखाइए मैं तो एक हाइड्रोडायनामिक्स जो है ठीक है राइट आपका इससे भी प्रोफाइल दिखाइए पहले या आपने स्टडी का किया, आपने प्रॉब्लम स्टडी दिखाई। और स्टडी का जो हमारे ग्राफ है वो कहाँ से लिया आपने?
डाटा है सी डेटा से 1969 का लिया, इसको 1970 जो हमारे पास
कितने साल के हिसाब से डाटा,
1969 से
तो उसको प्लॉट करके रिप्रेजेंटेटिव निकाल लिया। देखिए आपको एक चीज जो है फॉलो करनी चाहिए, तरीका फॉलो करना चाहिए। एक चीज को आप सेगमेंट रेटिंग पर को प्रॉपर बनाइए, ग्राफ ड्रॉ कर लीजिए, उसको वर्ड में ले जा करके टेस्ट कर लीजिए ना, फिर आगे बढ़िए। ठीक है, अब आपने जो है एक रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ईयर्स का फ्लो ग्राफ जो है वो ड्रॉ ही नहीं किया। आपने एक साल का लेकर कर दिया, तो एक रिप्रेजेंटेटिव करना चाहिए ना। पहले आप एक रिप्रेजेंटेटिव वाले ग्राफ बनाइए, सारे जितने ईयर्स के हैं उसको प्लॉट करके और उसका जो है एक एवरेज लीजिए। लेकिन जो भी आपने लिया है वो जरा चला के दिखाए, स्टडी में आपके स्ट्रक्चर्स को प्लेस कर दिए। स्ट्रक्चर्स की डिटेल्स क्या है आपके स्ट्रक्चर्स की क्या डिटेल्स, आपकी कॉपी में था